Hi all, welcome to the Dragon's Cave, and welcome to the Bloody St. Patrick's Day collaboration organised by April at Dragons in Dresses. Oops. I don't even know if this is going to work, but I'm going to give it a go. Got these cauldrons from Temu, Halloween. What I want to try to make is kind of like a leprechaun guarding his gold. So I'm going to move that out of the way for the minute. I need to have it around to judge size. Now I'm going to try to make a leprechaun from air dried clay. Never use this stuff for anything other than patching holes in models made from, oh good grief, what's the word? Oh yes, eco powder. Sorry, I'm getting myself all confused now. So I don't have anything to make a framework with other than sparkly pipe cleaners. And they're not very strong, so I think what I need to do is kind of make the general frame and then cover it in foil, I think. I'm only kind of guessing at the size at the minute because, like I said, what I'm going to do is measure it against the cauldron so that it turns out to be not too far out, hopefully. I'm going to fast forward through most of this for you anyway. Well, it's about as covered as it's going to get. I don't even know what the purpose of the foil is. I mean, it may be there to bulk it out a bit. It might even be that you don't need it with air dry clay and only with oven dry, but I don't know. It's on there now anyway, assuming it doesn't all fall off when I start to add the clay. Let's pack it a bit wider so I can see what I'm doing. Put the plastic out there. Okay. I'm just going to slap this on basically and hope for the best. And then put the detail in after it's all on there. Where do I start? Start with his belly. I look around at the mess I made the last time I was here. Maybe I should clean up first and then create some art. Stop faffing about. Stop making excuses not to work. Stop faffing about. just what I wanna make. Maybe coming here today was just a big mistake. Okay, I think there's a tiny bit on the foot still showing. I think I'm going to leave it there. I'll go over it and kind of smooth down in places. Make sure there's no awkward, lumpy, bumpy bits that shouldn't be there. Then I'm going to let this dry and then come back and do a proper layer with all the necessary features. So far so good. He's sort of standing up. He's about the right size for protecting the cauldron. I'm going to go wash my hands, let this cure, and I'll be back with you when I'm ready for the next layer. See you in a bit. Well, this is semi-dry, so I'm going to crack on with the next bit. So I put my opened pack of air dry clay into a sandwich bag. Put a little drop of water in there to try and keep it moist. And going to attempt now to kind of some clothes on him and things. Next best thing to a rolling pin. I've put a sheet of or part of a sheet of laminated sheet down on here to kind of, I don't know if this will stick to silicone or not. And again, I will fast forward through this. I'll probably play you some music. Oops, there we go. Not very good at kitchen related things. So where am I going to start? I think I'll start round his neck. Right off there. The collar, his jacket. Every time I go online, I see more stuff I need. I'm a resin addict, want the career to speed. I watch YouTube artists showing what they make. I order things and wonder how long will that take. There's mica powder in my nails and glitter in my hair. I found a pearl inside my bra. How did that get there? I see another new technique and back online I go. I need to buy some more stuff from my favorite online store. Where will I put them this time? I've no more storage space. I'll have to kick the kids out and put resin in their place. I need more shelves and cupboards, a garage and a shed. If hubby ever sees the bills, I'll likely end up dead. I've so much stuff I've got it piled up to the rafters. I suppose a resin addict is just like other crafters. Is there a group that I can join to help an addict out? Someone who start me by and fix my credit, not a doubt. I'll give them all my passwords so they can watch my stay. And maybe my mold buying will eventually end. There's mica powder in my nails and glitter in my hair. I found a pearl inside my bra. How did that get there? Okay, so I'm going to tidy this up here and there. I'll probably let this dry out a little bit before I carry on. I'll probably put his trousers on and then I'll come back to you when we're ready to do the face. you. See you soon. Hi all. So I think I showed you this cauldron at the beginning. I've put some stones in it. I chucked in some leftover eco resin when I did something else. Now I'm just going to put a bit of PVA glue in there. This dries clear, so it's not going to be, hopefully, too visible. I know this will soak into the aqua resin, so if I need to put an extra coat on the top, I will later. For now, I've got these gold crushed glass. Just grab my little spoon, because every leprechaun needs a pot of gold to be protecting. When the glue is dry, I'll just brush off the excess, or possibly put another layer on. Probably put another layer on. But for now, there is our leprechaun's pot of gold. And once that is set, we'll come back for the next bit and just hope that everything has gone the way I want it to. See you later. Morning. This is, oops, excuse me, moving my chair. About as dry as it's going to be. It's about as good as it's going to be as well, because quite frankly, I cannot wait to be done with this. My sculpting talents are non-existent, obviously. So I'm going to try and give him a face. How successful this is going to be is anybody's guess. Probably need to wet that a bit so that it'll stick. Do I attempt to give him eyebrows? I don't think I will. So I'm going to let this dry before I give him a coat of paint. But while I'm doing that, let me put away the remains of the clay. Make sure that doesn't dry out in the packet. Not that I'm going to have much use for it in future, given how wonderfully well this has gone. So I've got a hat for him. But move those away. And I'll probably paint his suit. Oops, sorry, way out of shot. I'm probably going to paint his suit the same, similar sort of colour. But when I did a previous, one of April's previous things, I think it was the Halloween one, I bought a doll to chop up into bits, and as it happens, this doll has red hair. So I'm going to take some of this and actually attach it to the hat, because everybody knows leprechauns have red hair. So where are we? Let's do this a little bit at a time. Got some PVA glue in a little pot here. left from doing the cauldron. I'm just going to put a dollop of that in. And attempt to stick the hair to that. I'm going to leave that to dry and then do the same on the other side. I'll probably attempt to give him a beard as well, just to kind of disguise how awful that face is. But we'll see how we go. I'm going to leave it there for now because I can't do much more until his face is dry anyway. And I will see you very shortly. Bye. Hey all, back again. So I'm going to make a base for this piece. I'm going to use this small tray mold, but I need to move that out of the way because I've got 200 grams of aqua resin powder in here. Making sure there's no big lumps in there. And sorry, I'll make you seasick at that rate, aren't I? Lift you up a little bit. 60 grams of water. It's 30 grams of water to every 200 grams of powder. Mix is pretty quick. Generally very smooth. I'm going to get as much of the drips off there as I can before I put it down because I haven't got anything ready to put it on. I'm going to use lotus green and brown to colour this with. And sort of a marbly effect, but mostly green. There's not going to be an awful lot of white showing in this, but that's okay because I don't really want much white showing anyway. I just do it gently because I don't want to mix it all in completely. Making a mess of my mat here, but that's okay. Okay, so probably not quite enough in here to fill the whole mould, but it doesn't matter. Actually, it looks pretty spot on. Yep. We'll throw this little bit into a mould I have that I'm filling my leftovers, and I'll be back when I'm ready to get this out of the mould, or whatever part we do next. See you in a bit. Right, this is set now, so I'm going to get this out of the mould. Obviously I can't really do much with it until it's completely dry, which will take about, probably not till tomorrow morning now, but I think that's worked pretty well. I'll show you what the plan is for it. Basically, the cauldron's going to sit there and the unicorn hopefully will fit on it as well behind it, protecting his pot of gold. A couple of little bubbles, but I'm not really worried about those at all. And hopefully there'll be room for a few bones laying about. I may have to break this up because it's too big. So this is just Sugarcraft mould. If I remembered where I'd put it, I'd show it to you, but there's not going to be room for all of it, so I'm just going to break it up into bits and kind of lay them around. We'll see how much we have room for. So I'm going to put this over the side to get it, to wait until it's fully dry before we move on to the next part. And I will be so glad when this is finished. See you soon. Hi all. Right, I think it's time to get this painted up. I've got, this is just upside down laminated sheet. I'm just going to use that to mix my paints on. I think that's a little bit dark, so I'm going to put a bit of a lighter one in with it. And again, there'll be fast forwarding happening.
I'm the resident fire starter, so some people say. I've only done it once or twice. It don't happen every day, but cause I did it in a vid, it's not something that could be hid. I guess for now the name is here to stay. I only wanted to get rid of bubbles in the piece I did, but when I touched it with a lighter, suddenly the room got brighter. I didn't shout, I didn't cry, I didn't even wonder why. Just shrugged my shoulders and carried on. If something resin can go wrong, for me it always will. It never takes me by surprise, just leaves me with a bill for cleaning up or just replace.
I'm going to let this green coat dry. Then I'm going to do the feet, the boots and the belt. I'm still dithering about the hands and face because I'm not entirely sure whether I want to do them in a pale green or whether I want to go for more of a skin tone. But I'll think about that and I'll come back when we're ready for the next part. See you in a bit. Well, it's not quite dry, but I am losing the will to live with this, to be fair. And I'm sure I've said that a number of times now. So I'm going to do kind of a sort of something approaching a skin tone. And we are very nearly at an end. And I am so happy about that. Okay, so very ugly unicorn, leprechaun. Oh, slap myself about a bit. Okay, leprechaun, very ugly. He's going to go over onto the heat mats until the paint is completely dry. Then I'll get his features painted on and I will see you very soon. Bye. Hi all, we're finally getting there now. We're very nearly finished. So this looks kind of boring, just plain black plastic. So I've got some, I don't, supposedly it's gilding wax. That's what Timu said anyway. I'm just going to take a little bit of this and kind of rub it in. So I think that's enough. It's not as plain and boring as it was when it was all black plastic. So that's that part done. Get the lid on this and then grab a wet wipe. Didn't realise how sticky that was going to be. So there's a couple of bits and pieces I want to add. Obviously, evil leprechaun needs some weapons. And I've got this, which I snapped in half in one of the other parts. What I want to do, we need some blood on the weapons, obviously. If I can get anything out of this bottle or if I'm going to have to open a new one. It should be enough, hopefully. So I'm going to use a little drop of cherry red alcohol ink just to colour that. See if that's enough. I've got gold on my fingers. I think that'll do the trick. Grab my torch before I start. Just want to kind of drip it here and there. Don't want too much, don't want to overdo it, but I'll get these cured up and I will be back in a second for the semi-final stage. See you in a sec. Well, while those are curing up, I decided I'm going to move on anyway. I'm going to pop a little bit of this glue on here. Don't want to put too much on. Can't even get the lid back on. Bear with me a second. Right. So I'm going to spread this about a little bit. I don't need it to be that lumpy. And I've got some static grass. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of this on there. Got to get the packet open first, of course, but that's okay. Now, I don't have the posh gadget for doing this, so I'm just going to do it by hand. Just cover up where I've put the glue and then blow off the excess when the glue is dry. Which will probably be a while because this glue doesn't dry that fast. That's okay. There is more we can do while we're waiting for it. Sort of. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want too much on there anyway. We are finally getting there. Now, I didn't show you painting the face on or anything like that because I needed to do it closer to me where the camera wouldn't see, but it's not the weirdest looking leprechaun you've ever seen. I gave him a beard. I couldn't work out how to do a moustache without driving myself blind and insane. Glued his hat on. He's got hair, which I may or may not trim at some point. He's got bald patches too, but I've given up the ghost on that one. So what I need to do now is balance something under his neck. No, that's too big. Try that. I'm going to get him kind of balanced so in case the glue on his hair isn't quite set. And now he needs his weapons, which I will almost certainly have to do. Where's my super glue? I was going to do it with the B7000, but it does take an a long while to dry. So let's see if I can get it in place with this instead. I may be here sometime. hasn't even started to set. Maybe super glue wasn't such a good idea, and I don't really want to glue my fingers to his hand. These were just charms that I got in a little set, and I just cut off the loops that were on the end there. Super glue bizarrely is not setting at all. So I think I might need to go off camera, wipe that off, and try again with the B7000 and come back to you when that's ready. See you in a tick. Hi, we're back, and he's finally got his weapons. So he's going to sit kind of there-ish, protecting his pot of gold. I have to figure out how to stop him falling over, but that'll do for the second. Now, I'm just going to pop a couple of bits of moss here and there. We'll glue these down later, but just for now I want to see where is best to place them. Mostly around the pot of gold, I think. Obviously the skeleton's still got blood on it and skinned alive, so therefore he wouldn't have had time for much moss to grow around him, would he? Rather than tearing this, it'd probably be easier to cut it, but never mind. Some down there. And I think we are as done as we're going to be. Let me see if I can bring you down. See him a bit better. Can you even see his head? Nope. Can't zoom out. Oh, can I zoom out? Let me see. Yes, I can, a little. So, there we have it. Bloody St. Patrick's Day. We have a leprechaun protecting his pot of gold. So, I'm going to go and get him onto the turntable, get you some photos, and I will see you all very soon for the next one. Don't forget, check out the playlist. There's going to be far better than this in there, trust me. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Give me a thumbs up. And hope to see you soon. Bye.